Hi, my name's Alana Carisforth and thanks for watching this video today. As some of you may know, I'm an IELTS tutor and I've been teaching English to overseas students for the last 16 years. I've been making a series of videos on pronunciation for the IELTS speaking test, and this is number 4 in that series. Pronunciation for the IELTS speaking test number 4. Covered in videos 1 and 2 was further information about the basic areas of pronunciation that the IELTS examiner will look for and features of pronunciation. And in videos 1 and 2 I also looked at vowel and diphthong sounds, and in video 3 I looked at consonant sounds. So, in this video 4, I'm going to continue with the phonetics and phonology of British English, and I'd like to look at consonant sounds again. In video number 3, I looked at 8 consonant sounds. I'm going to look at another 8 consonant sounds in this video and how they are pronounced in British English. And you can download the British phonemic chart from bestieltsonline.com. It's in the link section in the bottom right hand corner. So, as discussed in video number 3, there are 3 various factors we need to take into account when we're looking at the production of consonant sounds. So, the manner and place of articulation, basically how do we produce this sound, and where in the mouth do we produce the sound. What do we do with our lips, our teeth, the tongue, the jaw, even the nasal passage, although that's not actually the mouth, I know, but we've got to look at what these parts of the mouth are doing. We've also got to consider the vibration of the vocal cords. If there is vibration, we say that the sound is voiced. If there is no vibration, we say that the sound is unvoiced or voiceless. And we also want to think about the airflow produced. If you hold a piece of paper in front of your mouth when you're producing these sounds, how much does the paper move or not? Okay, so today I'm going to begin with the sound f, 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 as in fat, fat. Okay, now you'll notice that this is actually a long sound. F. It's not an explosion of air, as we've seen in the last video with p and t and d. This is a long sound. Basically, f is produced, so f is produced from the top teeth and the bottom lip making contact. And when the top teeth and the bottom lip make contact, you don't completely obstruct the air passage. So there's not an explosion. The air passage doesn't stop, as in some of the sounds in the previous video. And there's obviously some friction while this is happening. It's voiceless, so it may be a little hard even for me to hear me doing it. And there's some airflow, not the same as in p and b, p and t, and some of the sounds in the previous video, but there's still some airflow. Okay, the next sound is v, 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 as in vocabulary. Okay, this sound is very similar to the previous sound. So the previous sound, and now we're basically producing the same sound, but now it's voiced. So you can feel the vibration of the vocal cords. It's a long sound again. It's from the top teeth and the bottom lip making contact. And there's some friction, and so they're not completely obstructing the passage of air. In this, I don't think there's actually any airflow, or very, very little, minimal airflow, if you hold your piece of paper. Okay, the next sound is an incredibly difficult sound for learners of English. I don't know of any other languages where this sound exists apart from English. If you know, please let me know and I stand corrected. But in all my years of teaching, I've noticed students having problems with this sound and the next one. Okay, so again, it's a long sound, and I'll pronounce it for you now. Quite difficult to hear, but we're talking the example as in three. Three. Okay, now basically it's a long sound and the tip of the tongue is making contact with the upper teeth. So the tip of your tongue is touching the back of your upper teeth. Again, so there's some friction here, we're not completely obstructing the air passage. Now, many teachers teach this sound as putting the tongue between the upper teeth and the lower teeth. That isn't actually what native speakers do, but it does actually help people produce the sound. And so if your teacher's telling you to do that, absolutely fine. As you become more proficient at the sound, you may want to move that tongue back a little bit so it's just touching the back of the upper teeth. Three, three, three. It's a voiceless sound and there's some airflow. The next sound is very similar. Zzz, zzz. It's basically the same sound but with a voice. You can feel the vocal cords vibrating in your throat. There's no air produced with this sound, and again it's a long sound, it's produced from the tip of the tongue touching the back of the upper teeth. Zzz, zzz. For example, those. Now the next sound. S, like a snake. S, s, spider. Basically, in this sound, do you remember in the last video we talked about a ridge behind the upper teeth? So when we produce t, we touch that ridge with our tongue. Well, with this sound, s, s, the tongue nearly touches the ridge. Doesn't quite touch the ridge. It nearly touches the ridge. Okay, it's a long sound. Only half obstructed air in this sound, and there's some friction. It's voiceless, and there's some air produced, some airflow. Not an excessive amount, but there is some. Okay, the next sound is very similar. Z, 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 as in zebra. Okay, so it's produced in the same way as s, so the tongue is nearly touching the ridge, half obstructed passage of air, and there is some friction. But this time it's voiced. You can feel the vibration of the vocal cords, and I don't think there's very, very little air produced when this sound is produced. Okay, now these next two sounds are very similar to the previous two on the page, and in fact many students, some students of some nationalities often confuse these sounds. So this next one is shh, shh, shh. Imagine you've got a 15 noisy 5-year-olds in your house, and you want to tell them to be quiet. So you shh, shh, shh. For example, shoes, shoes. Now, in this sound, there is a half obstructed passage of air, and there is some friction. Now the tongue moves slightly further back. Okay, moves slightly further back than the previous two sounds, and it's going to make contact with the roof of the mouth, the top of the mouth. So we're behind the ridge. It's an area we call the palate. The lips are also rounder than in the previous two sounds. It's unvoiced, and there's some air produced. So that's shh, shh, shh. Now the last sound is zh, 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 as in television. Zh. Now this sound is very similar to the last one, the sh sound. There's basically a half obstructed passage of air, and there's some friction, and the tongue moves further back and contacts the roof of the mouth, the palate, further back than the ridge. The lips again are rounder than the first two sounds on this page. This sound is voiced. I can feel vibration in the vocal cords, and there's very, very, very little airflow produced. And that's the 8 sounds for this video. So we've now covered 16 of the consonant sounds. In the next video I will do the final 8. Thank you for watching. I hope you find some of this useful. Do practice in front of the mirror, and look at your teeth and your lips, and think about where your tongue is, and maybe record yourself making the sounds and compare it to this video, or if you have the good fortune to be able to speak to a native speaker, do so. And thanks for watching, and I wish you all the best in your IELTS test. Thanks. Bye.